Hi, this is Danielle from Ontario. I wanted to just try to make a video regarding anti-bullying as well as the topic of Amanda Todd. First of all, a little about myself. I'm 30 years old. I have been bullied myself from grade, my first grade, from grade, the very first grade. I was 8 years old when I was diagnosed with thyroid issue, put on weight. You would know I probably was teased all the names you could think of for being overweight. I still am overweight. Continued to have thyroid problems all through high school. Was teased then. Suffered with depression, anxiety. Got in my 20s. I also self-harm, which, is not a good thing, but it seemed to be at the time. For me, it helped. Um, I didn't have a lot of friends either, just like Amanda, so I can relate to that. Then, in my late 20s, I did something not so good that I'm not proud of, but it happened too. I attempted suicide twice. I'm not proud of it. I thought it was, it would help other people in a sense, my family, because it would, make them not have to deal with all my issues anymore. And I'm sure that's what she felt too at the time. You know, I felt like I was a burden to society and others and family and, nurses that are having to deal with my issues when I had to go back and out of the hospital. To deal with my issues of depression and the doctors giving me different medications, and I thought they were frustrated with having to deal with the medications, and so I thought by killing myself, I was doing everybody else, a good thing by not having to deal with my problems anymore at the time. Um, and then finally, I found a really good family doctor, who has been, on me in a good way as far as medications and really helped me. And so now I'm on some good medications, and I was diagnosed with bipolar type 2. I'm pretty sure it's 1 though, but type 2, and the medications work great. I also have insomnia really bad. I take medications for that. I'm really active during the day, so I keep myself healthy, and I try to eat healthy as well, which helps. I thought I would share my story because it's similar to hers in the sense that I was bullied, from a little child through high school. I know what that's like. I think bullying is just, it's totally wrong. I think that more things need to be done in schools and not just, detention or whatever they do in schools nowadays. I think that more things need to be done legally as well. People need to be, they need to take actions for what they do and be responsible for what happens. All those children that, hurt her need to be punished some way or another. I really feel for the family. My mom was really supportive and always there for me when I was crying, came home from, I've gotten in fights and stuff, and whenever I would defend myself, I would actually get in trouble, not the kids that were mean to me. Trying to think what else I can say. All the stuff that she did online, exposing herself, I don't see that as a huge deal, only because people do it all the time online. I'm worse, and nobody is seeing the fact that that guy, from what I've heard, was like 30 looking at a teenager, and that's the bigger issue. A 30-year-old looking at a teenager. That's what we need to look at. I think he needs to be put in jail for looking at a young teenager, and it shouldn't be her issue of what she did, but what he did. And all those teenagers that, put her to the point where she felt she just couldn't deal with it anymore. Something needs to be done with them as well. I don't think bullying is ever a good thing. I think, you can be punched in the face or kicked in the butt or whatever, and yeah, that hurts temporary, but to call somebody a name, it will always be there. I can remember all the names I was called from a little kid, and it will always be there. It's an internal scarring for life. I just feel, and people who judge people who feel that they have to end their lives because they're so depressed, you shouldn't judge them. You don't know what their situation is. You don't know what they're thinking. They're not thinking logically at the time. They're thinking, they're not thinking rationally. They're, at a point where perhaps she said that she had tried medication, she was doing this and that, so she was trying things. And sometimes in small communities, they have a general education about mental health, but they don't know everything about the mental health system. Like, for where I live, it's like an hour to actually get any help as far as mental health related. And it's like nearly an hour and a half to the actual mental health hospital, and it's not a really good situation in the hospital there. It looks like a jail cell, pretty much. It's not a good situation. The nurses aren't really nice either. They treat you like a 5-year-old or a criminal. So it's not a good situation. What I can say about being a teenager, because I was one at one point, is everything that happens now while you're a teenager isn't the end of the world. I know it seems like it, but it really isn't. Eventually, you'll find that what people think of you now is not as important as what you think of yourself. I'm just trying to think of what else I can say. You'll always find somebody who will be there to listen if you need somebody to listen to. I feel terrible that I wasn't able to be there for her even though I didn't know her. But for anybody that needs to talk, there is kids helpline too you can call. There's, I don't want to call it suicide hotlines, but there's hotlines you can call if you really feel that you want to end your life. There's somebody to listen. There'll always be somebody to listen. There's your parents. There's guidance counselors. There's somebody to listen to you. I think the worst kind of bullies are those ones that are online that feel that they can bully somebody online. I think that's cowardly. But I was bullied, and I think it doesn't matter who you are, what you look like, what nationality you are, what color you are, size you are. There will always be somebody to bully somebody. So nobody is, not going to be bullied. So you'll be bullied for something. I think it needs to totally stop, and people need to take actions for what they do. But I feel so sorry for the family, the Todd family, and I hope that one day they'll feel that their daughter didn't die in vain, and that maybe there'll be an Amanda Todd law for anti-bullying, cyberbullying, and bullying in general in schools. And I hope something comes out of all these brats that bullied her to the point she had to end her life. It's really sad. Well, the positive thing about my story is that I did find a doctor that cared. I did find a few people that cared. I found a person in my life that cared very much about me to rush me to the hospital when I took all the pills that I did because I felt I couldn't live anymore. And I'm not ashamed of who I am. I'm not ashamed of the things I did. And because, when you're sick, you do things that you're not thinking about at the time. And I had his mother to help me as well, and people that actually cared when I didn't feel that anybody cared. There are people that care. I think it's sad that people assume that people do things because they don't care about other people, and be judgmental when people actually need somebody that cares and will listen. That's the biggest thing, is you need to listen to, for parents, don't assume your kid's dramatic or, blowing things out of proportion. You need to listen to your kids, Kids do suffer with depression. They do. It's not dramatic. Kids do get bullied. Kids, they need you. You need to listen to the signs. You need to check things out. And, the bullying starts from parents. And maybe it's parents and parents and parents, before that were bullied. I don't know. I just think that it needs to stop. And it needs to stop now before it's already gotten out of hand. But it needs to stop. We need to start caring more about each other and get rid of this me first attitude. Anyway, that's my message. Take care, everybody.